What's going on, golf addicts? You are addicted because this is the Rocket Mortgage 2023 betting show, and the field is ugly. Pat, good to see you, buddies.
DB.
I feel like we, I feel like we haven't done shows together at all.
I don't, we take a week or two off and then things get all out of whack and I'm not even in my normal location. And then
Because you're on vacation again.
I'm not on vacation.
Where are you?
I'm in Amelia Island,
Is
a
that a
beautiful
beach?
place. I have the ocean right
Is there a
behind.
beach there? Okay, so
Yes. Yeah.
and you're staying at a Holiday Inn.
No, it's a pretty nice place.
Oh,
Pretty nice
is it
place.
anything we've ever heard of? Maybe I don't know.
It starts with an R and ends with a Z.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
But I'm only here because my beautiful wife is in a conference here. So she's conferencing, and sometimes you just get to go along with these kind of things, DB, and that's what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah.
Boy, good to be the king, huh? Good to be the king. Good to see you, man. Well,
Yeah.
I'm giving you a hard time, but yeah, it does. It feels like we've been a married couple, like two ships passing in the night, and we're
Yeah.
just we're just business partners at this point.
Mhm.
We go to a marriage conference, and they tell you that, like, if you're not having a good marriage, you're probably just more like business partners, and you just barely see each other, and you make sure everything's been held down, and you know
Yeah. Yeah.
nobody's killing each other, and things are on the rails, but you're hanging by a thread.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the dog days of summer in Tour Junkies world. It is what it is.
But we've got some things potentially coming up. We can't announce anything, but where we might even be together. Who knows,
That's
DB? So hopefully those things happen, and then we'll want to kill each other like a married couple because
yes.
we'll be around each other too much. So
That's possible. That's possible.
yeah,
We are doing this in the middle of the afternoon on Monday. It is around 2:30 Eastern, so no podcast use for me. Even though I answer to no one but myself. I try to limit the day drinking
hmm
to like major championship weeks. So I would assume you're doing the same. Although you are on vacation, do we have like a pina colada or anything?
no, just a little water in the
Okay.
Yeti.
Okay.
So
Are you sure? Is it really water? Is it
yeah,
that
for right
dirty
now it
water?
is. Now maybe by the DK show it may not be DB, but
Yeah. The betting show, we're going to get to it. We're going to talk about top of the board, mid-range bombs. Top 26 pack is back now that we're both here. We're going to do the DK show. That will drop either Monday night or tonight or early on Tuesday morning. Talk through the DK slate. But listen, it's ugly. Before we get to the Rocket Mortgage Classic, we're going to get to down the board. A little bit of down the board. Quick recap on what we saw for the Travelers Championship, won by Keegan Bradley, Pat. And as always, it is presented to you by our friends at Leaderboard. Shout out Leaderboard. Absolutely crushing the golf app game. I used it yesterday. I played a nice little, very comfy 83 at Champions Retreat yesterday,
nice.
and put in all my stats. Love tracking my stats on Leaderboard. Noticing a couple of trends starting to develop now after I've logged maybe, I don't know, 12 to 15 rounds on Leaderboard. I found out that the Tour Junkies group, which is now available on Leaderboard, if you're on, you need to join our group. You can search groups in the app, is the largest group on Leaderboard. And I love to see that. Let's add some more members to that. So if you're on Leaderboard, search the group, find us. If you've not downloaded it, it's a free app. Just click the link in the description. Use promo code TJ when you do, just to let them know that you found us. It's a free app. So in the iOS store only for now, still coming to Android markets very, very soon. I did get an update on that as well. But a great place to help track all your own golf stats, scores, all that stuff. It'll push to the USGA so you can record your scores for your GIN handicap. It's a beautiful thing. It'll help keep settle bets and keep scores and keep dots and handicap your wagering properly on the course. It is a lovely, versatile app. So our friends at Leaderboard, and we are talking about the Leaderboard at the Travelers. Pat, as we look down the board at the Travelers, we both whiffed on Keegan Bradley. I did have Denny McCarthy on the card. You had Brian Harmon on the card.
Yeah.
I talked up Shez Reavie a good bit all week, but neither one of us on Keegan Bradley. Although he was quite the topic in the Nut Hut conversation on Wednesday night. I don't remember if you had left by the time we started talking about Keegan, but 2 weeks in a row now in the Nut Hut, we've had members bring up a name that was going a little under the radar, not super under the radar, but a little under the radar, kind of in a sweet little ownership pocket in the 7Ks in DraftKings, and talked about these guys as possible plays. And For the U.S. Open week, it was Wyndham Clark, and we spent 10 minutes on Wyndham Clark. And then this past week, it was like a 10-minute Keegan Bradley conversation. Were you in for that or no in the Nut Hut
No,
chat?
I think I had left because I had to do that radio hit. So I don't
Yeah, you actually left not in an Irish goodbye on the Discord chat Wednesday night.
know. But you know what I did?
What
I
did you do?
know I know we're going down the leaderboard here, but I did give out Keegan as a first round leader
Oh,
bet
yeah.
on the radio show. Of course, freaking Denny came through and just wiped that out.
Yeah,
But other than that, I didn't really have Keegan. Obviously, didn't have him on the card. But
correct. Yeah. All right. Well, down the board, what do you got?
I mean, I think there's a couple things. This is first off, like now I didn't get to watch a lot of golf, but like it just seemed like all the top players. Like, I guess you had Cantlay up there, but
Mhm.
Rory kind of sneaks into the top 10 there, or maybe he hung around there the whole time. JT got in there in the top 10. Yeah, Ricky was up there for a little bit. So like the larger names just to me just, kind of fizzled out a little bit. But what about JT? Like after the US Open and, he's really down and then now all of a sudden has some really good rounds, last week. I mean, is he back in play? He's certainly in play this week, I think, in a field like this, but this
Uh,
is how quickly I guess my point is this is how quickly golfers can turn it around. Like everybody has been hating on JT. He's missed a lot of cuts in a row here, or when he did, he like, barely finishes near the, from the bottom. And then, he's just, shoots in the 80s, one of the worst scores at the US Open. And then all of a sudden he's back. This is what happens. This is golf.
yeah, I mean, he gained strokes on approach all 4 rounds, which is good to see. Still not making anything on the greens.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think the thing with JT, at least for me personally, because I've been maybe one of those JT haters, has been that it looks quite broken, and for what you typically have to pay for him in the betting markets, in the outright markets, and the DraftKings DFS slates, it's not like you're getting this great value on him, and you want to see some sign of life, and we've been waiting on some sign of life, and here it is. So now we've got it, which is fine. But I
Yeah.
mean, even JT, I know everybody was like, a couple weeks ago, JT at 30 to 1, that's an auto bet. It's just JT at 30 to 1 and or
Not
40
really.
to 1. And same thing with like I get that he could have been a discount on DraftKings at 8,900 or 8,800 at times, but it's still you're still paying up a little bit. Like you want the guy in that spot to feel, you want to feel confident that that guy really has some real upside, and it just didn't feel like he's really actually had it. And he's finally shown a little something. So good for him. I mean, it was good to see. And now you can approach him maybe a little differently. He is still, I mean, JT's been a world class player for many, many years. So I wouldn't think that a lull would be long for JT. I mean, we've seen guys go through lulls. We've seen Spieth and Ricky and other guys kind of, have that happen. But maybe it was a short little just blip for JT. But we'll
Well,
see.
here's the thing I'll ask you because I know that you listen to a lot of the press conferences, and I know he's not doing a press conference every single week, but he's lost strokes putting 4 in a row, 5 out of his last 6. And really, actually, I mean, if you just look at his last 10, it's just awful. Has he said much on his putting? Like, what is he saying about his putting?
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, I know uh, if he has, I've clipped it and put it in the Nut Hut. It's in the Discord. You can go back and
Yeah.
look at it, but I don't think it's been much. I think he's kind of downplaying it and just kind of saying like I'm doing the best. I'm working on it. We're gonna get there. Ball's just not falling in the hole, like that whole thing. I don't think there's really been anything super telling
Yeah,
that I can remember.
because if you just watch him, it's pretty bad. Like it's just, I think it's just a lack of confidence with the putter, which I mean
Yeah,
happens for
maybe
a lot,
definitely
but
happens.
it's just not there. But anyway,
My down the board, and listen, you and I did get into a little bit of a mix up in the Nut Hut.
a mix up.
Uh,
Oh gosh, on Cam Young.
Wait a minute. Oh, he finished 15th. I mean, finished 15th.
No, that's
Oh, no, no,
Carson.
sorry,
That's
sorry,
Carson. That's the
sorry.
new Young,
I'm sorry.
DB.
I totally
Yeah,
slipped my
that's the
mind.
new Young.
He got beat by some kid named Carson.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a tough scene. Yeah, Cam Young continues to just be Cam Young, and Cam Young of 2023. It's a tough version. Just not good. Finishes 60th. shoots 5
Yeah.
under total for the tournament, 3 under on round 4. So I have to victory lap when I can now as much as as much as possible.
Hey,
So,
listen, when I'm wrong, I say I'm
yes.
wrong, okay,
Yeah.
DB, and I was wrong about Cam Young. As a matter of fact, it was a mistake. It was a mistake.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
I was
so
trying to
I'll admit that.
I was trying to help you with that one a little bit. I mean, not that
But you were hoping that he was gonna miss the cut, which he almost did. He
I
birdied the
was
last
hoping
hole
I
to
was
make us
hoping
believe me, I was watching. He birdied the last hole to make the cut.
Yeah, I was definitely, paying attention to his Friday afternoon, but,
Oh, I know. I know
but
you
shout
were.
out to the real Young, the good Young on the PGA Tour, Carson Young, another solid finish, T15. I would imagine he'll be a popular selection maybe in the finish position markets this week as well as DFS. All right, that is down the board presented by Leaderboard. Let's move on. Top of the board, boy, yeah, I did the first look show this morning, Pat, and the numbers were not pretty then. They've definitely shortened. Some numbers have shortened, some significantly since then. This is really ugly for me. But you know what? Great. I think this is a great opportunity, maybe for DB's Big Balls betting. I mean, at some point, I'm going to hit a winner. At some point, just law of
It
averages.
will happen,
Law
yes.
of averages. It
Yeah.
is going to happen at some point. I've had a name or two close every week, and they can't. They maybe they're playing they want to play live events because they can't play 4 rounds, they can play 3. And but I some point it's going to work out. And I do feel like this could definitely be anybody's game. Like everybody up top here, there's question marks. Like Tony not putting it well at all. I mean, we're looking at a winning score here, likely in the 25 under situation. I think there's been a fair amount
Yeah.
of rain up there. I looked this morning, I saw no weather really in the forecast. It looks like another kind of benign week. This is a birdie fest already, and it just seems like it could open itself up to some big winners. We've only played here 4 times, and 2 of the 4 times you've had triple digit long shots hit. One of them I hit, Cam Davis, 150 to 1 a couple years ago. Nate Lashley won the first year, like 200, 250 to 1. Then you had Bryson, who Brysoned this thing and kind of overpowered it. That was one of his early, overpowered tournaments that he took down. And then Finau last year, but a lot. You know what I was looking at? Finau. I don't know if people are going to notice this, but last year when Finau won this event, he was third in the field in driving accuracy.
Huh.
Third in the field in
Yeah.
driving accuracy. Yeah, he was 14th in distance. He still averaged 311 yards off the tee. I mean, Detroit Golf Club just seems like a full send operation, but I do think that it's there. If you look at all the leaderboards over the last 4 years and you go down the board on Rocket Mortgage leaderboards, there are definitely some shorter hitters that play well here. And I think some of it's maybe the putting contest that tends to happen when you have winning scores in the mid-20s. So, you know, I think it's going to open it up, but there's very little at the top end of this range that I want anything to do with. I mean, the question mark for Finau is the putter. Can the putter be hot enough to convert here? And at 12 to 1, I don't know that I want to take that chance. What in the world? I mean, I said it this morning. I think I'll hop off on the Ricky outright train this week. I'll probably be right back on the next time he's playing, unless it's like the John Deere and he's like 7 to 1. But I'm not gonna
When you just said that, like, everybody just wrote down Ricky Fowler bet outright.
fine. Fine. If everybody wants to fade me, that's perfectly
I'm not saying to fade you, but I mean, it was really more the statement of like, I'm finally gonna hop off Ricky. So that means he's gonna win.
okay. But I guess what I'm saying is at 14 to 1, if I miss that one, I miss it. Like I would likely miss anybody at 14 to 1. It's just not how I play the game. So
Yeah.
I don't I don't want to miss Ricky at 35, 40, 50 to 1 or longer. I don't want to do that. But at 14 to 1, guy hadn't won since 2019. I'll just wait. I'll just wait.
Are we really gonna get Ricky though that long from here on out after what he did at the U.S. Open? Not necessarily last week, but the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I still think
Like,
in
I think the
the
Open
elevated
Championship.
events.
His odds are probably already out for the Open. I bet it's inside 35 to 1.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I also finished runner up at Liverpool when they had it here last time, like what,
Yeah.
9 years ago. I don't. I I mean, in a major, or I guess there aren't any more elevated events, but in majors or maybe the playoff events, I could see it getting still being there to win, but I don't know. What are you doing
Yeah.
up here?
Well, I mean, I think of this shorter end, I think I'm still gonna be on Ricky, and it's really just
You're just doing that now. You're just doing that.
no, I'm not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He is written down.
No,
He's written
you're
down.
no. Show me. Okay.
See?
I swear you did that. You knew I would be off of him at 14. You
No, I
know.
didn't. I didn't. I felt like I wanted somebody up top, and it's gonna be Ricky because this what you just said. If he does win, which I think he can, this is a golf
Yeah,
tournament,
of
he can
course,
score a lot,
of
then
course.
I'll be a little bit upset, and I'll probably go, probably blow my wad on units a little bit there with him. But still, if he does win, I want to be on it. The other guy I like though is Sung J M here at 22-1. I was on him last week. I feel like if he could have just put those four together, he would have been right there at the end. Maybe not up to where Keegan was a little bit. I mean, this tournament was over on the back nine. I mean, Keegan gave a few back, whatever. It's hard to win golf tournaments. He really could have won this golf tournament by 6 shots. But Sung Jae, I think, is an interesting pickup here. 22-1 is the best odds I've seen him at. Did you know Willie Wilcox was on the bag for him last week? I thought
I mean,
that was strange. Like, is that a what is that? Does that mean like? Because I know he caddied for Ben Carr, who's from
yeah,
Columbus, Georgia, which is where. Well, Drew's not. I mean, not Drew. Willie's not from there, but whatever. There's a connection somehow.
yeah. I didn't know until after the tournament started. But
Yeah,
and I just talked to Willie like on the phone a couple weeks ago about something. So um,
and he didn't mention.
no, he was all in on him and Ben Carr doing their thing. But you know, it is known on the PGA Tour the Koreans like to rotate caddies. It's kind of a carousel situation.
Yeah.
So if
Well,
Sungjae let go of whoever he had, that I don't think he had for long, because I think I'm pretty sure Sungjae had a new caddy at the beginning of this season.
well,
So I
and
don't.
they had to have hooked up at the U.S. Open, I'm sure, because he was out. Willie was out there with Ben Carr on the bag for the U.S. Open.
Mhm,
And I know Willie is caddying full time at
mhm,
Kiowa, so
mhm.
he's doing the thing there. But I don't know. Maybe he's trying to get a gig as a caddy full time at some point. Maybe that's his deal.
And I
You
mean,
just
maybe Sungjae. I mean, dude, maybe at the first sign of any trouble, Sungjae's like, I need to change my caddy, because he's gone. He had missed 3 of his last 4 cuts, with the exception of a 41st at Memorial, and then he cans his guy.
and then he
And
plays pretty well.
but I mean, if you're Willie Will, short leash, homie, short leash. You know,
Yeah,
you just got to know. But if you're on the bag for unknown, unproven Ben Carr, you definitely, I mean, you definitely got to. If Sungjae gives you the ring, you gotta just be like, okay, bye.
yeah,
Isn't it weird though? Like Sungjae's, does it feel like Sungjae's only won twice in his whole career?
yeah.
I think
He's
I'd
such
rather.
a stripe show, though. I mean, he really is. Like he can do all the things to win more. I think for me too, it's really just I'm kind of grasping at straws a little bit up top because again, it's not a great field. I'm looking for any value that I think I can find. And Sung Jae, and we're doing, this ranges up to 25-1, so we're
Yeah,
pigeonholed into that, so he's the
yeah.
one that just sort of stands out a little bit for me.
I like Tom. I'll probably go back to Tom Kim. I think I had him last week too. Playing well. I mean, I don't. The putter's a concern, because he hasn't been amazing with that. Did finish 7th here last year, and we saw him gain a lot of strokes putting at the U.S. Open. Then he lost again at the Travelers, which is not surprising. But was better than field average putting here last year. Bent grass clearly his best surface, I mean, by a long shot. So I'm not super excited about it. I think he was 22 this morning, and then I also had Hideki at 20 this morning, but he's down to like 16 or 18.
Yeah, he was one I looked at too, but when I started looking,
His
he went.
putting is mooey mal. Um, like who do you trust to win? Who do you trust to close the door and win more right now, Hideki or Tom?
Probably Tom Kim if he gets into contention. Hideki to me hasn't won enough. You talk about Sung J.M.
No, he hasn't. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, Hideki's been doing it a really long ass time. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 wins in a major.
I think Kim is the type player that you got to ride him when he's hot, and then I mean, like he's been, the last couple tournaments really. And then you just jump off when he starts showing signs that he's, like he had been before the US Open, really.
Yeah. I'm not super excited about it. So hopefully some people got some good value on some of these numbers early, because they definitely have shortened some. And let's move on. Let's move on to the next range. Before we do, I got to remind everybody to go check out our friends at SoBet. Like I said, I've said it a bunch now. I'm going to say it all year. They're killing it. They're getting the best handicappers in literally almost every sport you could think of, but definitely all the main sports. And they're bringing them on the platform at SoBet. If you don't know, SoBet is it's a platform. I guess you could say it's a social platform, but it's actually, I don't know, like all you're looking at on the feed is handicappers posting plays, and they're giving, they have to give reasons for the play. They have to say how many units they're spending on the play, and then they got to follow up and be transparent with how many they win or lose. And it's just a great platform for that. And you get invited to come on the SoBet platform. You don't just sign up for it. You get invited to come on the SoBet platform as a handicapper. We are on there for golf. It's the home of the exclusive round robin top 40 parlay, or round robin, not parlay, which is now up. I think it's still up like eight units, 8+ units, just in about 7 or 8 weeks. So didn't have a great week last week. Should have had Shez in there, and I took Shez out at the last minute. I felt like my Shez exposure was over the top. Anyway, SoBet's crushing it. Link in the description. Promo code TJ gets you a discount on the 6-month membership, which we would highly recommend. You can do it for a month. It's $9.95 a month. You get all access to everything you want, all the handicappers. You can cancel at any time. But if you use code TJ, you can get the 6-month deal for just $39 a month, or $39 for the full 6 months. Sorry, and that takes you into football season, which is going to be huge on SoBet. So check it out. Link in the description. Code is TJ. Pat, I just like in this dog field with this range, are you going to make fun of me if I say, well, what if I want to bet Keegan again at 30-1?
I don't think I would make fun of you.
Do you think people on Twitter will make fun of people that want to bet Keegan at 30-1 again? Sometimes that happens. You get bullied out of picks.
Are you worried about being bullied?
No,
I've never heard you worry about being bullied.
Oh no, I'm not worried. I'm saying, like, do you think it would happen because of the Keegan, like the no way he's going to win back to back? But didn't Tony win this event right after he won? He won back to back last year, didn't he?
I think he did. I think you're right.
Yes, he won the 3M. Yeah, he won the 3M, and then he came back the very next week and won the Rocket Mortgage. So it's happened.
But of all people, do you think Keegan can do it?
Did you see him bow to his putter? Was it like Saturday?
I didn't see that.
Keegan Bradley gained 7 strokes putting, Pat. 7. He has found it, bro. That is now the second time. That's the second time this season he's gained. In 2023, he's gained 7 strokes putting. He was doing something. He laid the putter like this, and he went like that. He gained 7 strokes putting and 7 strokes approach.
Pretty damn good.
He's played here 3 times, made 3 cuts. 14th place finish in 2021 was his best finish. But I mean, in typical Keegan fashion, like, he sucks on the greens here, or he has. The one year he was positive on the greens, he was negative in ball striking. I mean, I'm saying that's what I said this morning. Like, if you're looking at this board, like, gun to your head, do you trust right now Keegan to win, or, I mean, do you trust him more than Tom Kim?
Probably. I mean,
you trust him more than Max Homa?
I mean, right now, yeah. I hate to say that because Max is.
I know. If you trust him more than Tom Kim, then you would trust him more than Hideki. And I gave the Tom Kim Hideki thing. Yeah. What about Morikawa?
I definitely trust him more than Morikawa. I don't trust Morikawa at all right now.
So what about JT? It's a birdie contest, right? Or
Yeah.
possibly putting contest. Like, I
I would
think
put him close to even right there.
so. I mean, what like that's half the odds that you have
Yeah.
him 30 to 1. And Keegan's a veteran, you know. I mean, he's multiple. I mean, now won twice this season on the PGA Tour, back-to-back winner last year with Tony Finau. I just think Keegan at 30 to 1. Like, I'll ride it. It's
Wait,
still,
Keegan's won twice this year?
yeah. I hit him at the Zozo or whatever it was, 70
Oh, I
to
forgot
1.
about that one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this season he's won twice. You know, Ben always makes fun of me for the regional thing. Northeast Keegan. You know, we're still
Everybody should have been on him if you believe in the regional thing.
right.
Like, there should and you know, we get tagged in all the tweets of the person who follows all the, you know, the betting, you know,
Golf tips
cards and
checker.
everything. And there really wasn't a ton of people on Keegan.
No, very
There
few.
wasn't. There should
A lot of
if you
names I've
were a
never heard
regional
of.
person, you would have gone with that. He would have been the first name on your card.
Yeah. Also, I think it's ridiculous that, and I don't want to get onto this too bad, but ridiculous that the Travelers made his 2 kids trophies. I think that's bullshit.
How do you just come up with 2 trophies like that?
Right. What if the whole thing was scripted? Because, you know, I mean, the
Yeah.
kids were there all week, and he was, like, hugging them in the ropes and stuff. I mean, great stuff, great stuff. Listen, don't get me wrong. Keegan's a great dude, probably a great dad, cute kids. Don't give the kids trophies.
What if those trophies were meant for something else and they just ripped them from that person and gave them to the 2 kids?
No, I think somebody at the Travelers just set out and just went and had the trophies made. I would love to know if they were inscribed or anything, but it's bullshit. And what it teaches America's kids is that you can get a trophy if your daddy does something great.
Mm.
You can just ride on his coattails into trust fundery. But I didn't like that. Don't get if I were Keegan, I'd be like, no. Take the trophies back. My kids are cute. Yep.
Yep.
Take the trophies back. Take the trophies away. You want to give them something? Give them a toy. Just say, "Hey, here, buddy. Your dad just won $3
Hey,
million."
let them go home and play with their poodle, who Keegan took a wedding photo with, which is the most ridiculous photo I've ever seen, or one of them. Or maybe we should get into some plays though in here.
Okay. All right, Keegan at 30 to 1. I see it on PointsBet right now. It's still 30 to 1. I like it. Just call me crazy. All right. Who else you got? Who you liking here?
You know, I kind of like Harris English in here, DB.
God dang it. Why are you doing that? I was gonna quit Harris this week. I've been right.
No, you got it. I think you play Harris 40 to 1. Why not? I mean, he's better than a lot of people in this field, especially the way he's been playing. 40 to 1 on BetMGM. He's a lot shorter on FanDuel. He's 33 to 1 and 35 to 1 on DK. So if you can still get him on at 40 to 1, I like it. You know, I think this kid Aberg.
Yeah, let's talk about him. Go ahead.
I think he's a stud, man.
Yeah.
He's an absolute stud. He's showing it. Has he missed a cut in an event that he's played even as an amateur? I know he's now a pro, but you can get him at 50 to 1. BetMGM is where I'm seeing that. He's 40 to 1, 45 to 1 elsewhere.
He's missed 2 cuts. He missed the RSM Classic and the Valero back in 2021,
Okay.
2022.
Right.
But I mean, obviously, he probably couldn't drink yet.
Yeah.
In America.
But this kid, I think, is you know, and we've seen this. It's been a while because everybody, you know, when Morikawa came out, when Wolf came out, when Hovland came out, they all had wins very soon after turning pro.
Okay. Wolf won quickly. He won like 5 or 6 starts.
Yeah. Maybe Hovland didn't. Hovland didn't. Hovland did. It was a while because you remember he won like Puerto Rico and then, or one of those, there was another tournament in the Caribbean or something that he won. Morikawa won pretty quickly.
No, it wasn't. It was a while. Go look at it. It was like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 4. It was like 25 starts in.
And then he won 2 majors.
Yeah, he won the Workday, and then he won the PGA, and then he won
the Open Championship the following year, right? Or the same? No, he didn't win in the same year. But still,
I was talking about him this morning because apparently everybody was running to bet Aberg, and I agree. I think he's a stud. We've not even seen him top 10 yet. Much less be in contention, okay, to win a PGA Tour event. And I think the numbers would tell you, as we just went by and looked at, even the best players out of college, most of them, it takes more than, I mean, he's literally, at least on Fantasy National, we have record of him playing 7 tournaments since 2021. He played 2 in 2021, 1 in 2022, and the rest of them have been this year. He's played in 7 tournaments. And he doesn't have a top 10, and he's not been in the hunt in a major yet. I just think you can be freakishly talented, and maybe one day he's the number 1 player in the world, right? Maybe he's the next whoever. But it just very rarely happens. And at that number, you can get a lot more better guys. And at a much longer number, you can get guys who have won on the PGA Tour. And I don't know, I think he's so popular that the number is off. I mean, Gordon Sargent is basically also Ludwig Aberg, and he's 90 or 80 to 1. What's the difference? I mean, Gordon
I think there's a little bit of difference because Gordon has not, I don't think he's played as many
but you're talking
tour
like
events.
7 versus like 3. So what? Gordon Sargent's played 2 or 3 events. 2 of them are majors. So and Aberg's played in 5 more, but 2 of them were in 2021.
Yeah, but if you look at Aberg, I mean, let's just, the thing is, like,
Yeah, Tom Kim was one that won. You're right. He's right about that. Tom Kim. Good call there, Matt. I just saw that. Tom Kim won quick.
I mean, he's played 7 events. 3 of them have been top 25s. 2 of those in elevated event fields. So really good fields.
Yeah.
At the API. Actually, no, all 3 of them. No, Canadian. That's RBC Canadian. I was thinking RBC. Yeah. He missed the cut at the RS. No, whatever. But the Travelers is a good field. So is, actually RBC, the Canadian wasn't a terrible field.
I mean, he was 10 shots from winning at the Travelers. Yes, I know it was a top 25, but like,
do you think? All right, well, let's go back to this then. All right, so you said Wolf won in like what, 5th?
I think it was something like that.
I mean, do you think Wolf was better then than Aberg is right now?
I have no idea. I don't know enough about. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Oklahoma State's obviously a great program. Those guys coming out of Oklahoma State that year were very highly regarded. And I'm trying to also separate my dislike for Matthew Wolff as a person, probably. So, I don't know, but also like, even 5 years ago, was the PGA Tour as highly competitive as it is now? Even in a field like this, I don't know. It was probably the same or maybe less competitive than now. I'm just saying, based on the number to me and on some other names almost double his odds, I just feel like the Aberg popularity and the hype puts him at this number when I think he's completely unproven at that point yet. Now, do I think he can top 10 and be in contention? 100%. But the likelihood of him winning is very bad compared to guys even longer than him, to me.
Maybe,
but I understand the hype.
A couple more that I want to. I think Alex Smalley is interesting at 55 to 1.
Sure.
Another one. One.
I agree on Smalley. I have Smalley here. Points bet 55.
I thought you might like that. I think Austin Eckroat, again, another guy we've been on for a while. He's at 66 to 1. The main thing I wanted to talk about there was the difference between where I saw him at 66 to 1 and then FanDuel has him at 33 to 1. So,
dude, and he got that is FanDuel has him at 33.
33 to 1. Looking at it right now.
Holy hell. He was like this morning. Wasn't he like 90 to 1? Is anybody in the chat that was in there this morning? We hit Eckroat at like 90 this morning.
Yeah, he's 60 to 1. I'm sorry. 60 to 1 on BetMGM is what I'm seeing, and 33 to 1, yes, on FanDuel.
Holy crap.
Which has dropped him a lot because he's, I'm still seeing 50 on DK. So,
Wow. Well, I loved the 90 that we got this morning on the First Look show. But even I wrote down the 60. I found him at 66 on MGM right before the show started. And I was like, yeah, I still like that for Eckroat. I think Eckroat is ready. I think he's ready. I think he's ready to get it done, close the door, make it happen. So I agree with you there. So you named Smalley and Eckroat. Those are two I have. The only other one I was looking at, and I'm just, I don't know. I guess I'm, for some reason I've found a little soft spot in my heart for Aaron Rye of late.
I
I
thought
think,
about him. I thought about it, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm not right. I can't write that down.
I know. I just think like some of these spike iron weeks he's having, hitting it close, and if he could ever make a couple putts, that would be refreshing. 75 to 1. It feels like it felt like a good value in this tournament in this field. I don't love it. I much prefer Keegan and Eckroat in this range, and then probably Smalley. But Rye was giving me thought on points bet. Okay, let's move on to the long range here. By the way, our boy, I was going to talk about Marcus's run coming to an end in the Nut Hut, as Leona Maguire could not quite close out the women's PGA, but he was going for 5 in a row, which would have been hot. But our boy Joe Idoni continues to crush it and have winning week after winning week in the head-to-head and finish position market posted exclusively on the Nut Hut, in the Nut Hut on the Discord. Um, he's up 27 units on the season on that exclusive card alone, people. That's incredible. Joe Idoni is crushing it, doing a great job there. So it's the only place you can get it. It's in the Nut Hut on Discord. So check it out. Link in the description. We got the Wednesday lunchtime live chat with me. Got the Wednesday night lunch chat with both of us. Always a good time. And we've got sharp people in the community coming on every single Wednesday night and throwing their 2 cents in about players in DFS or betting or whatever. So it's been a great conversation for the last few weeks. We've really enjoyed doing it. And, we'll keep it rolling for the dog days of summer when we're doing the Rocket Mortgage and the John Deeres and the 3Ms. So we'll keep it moving. Okay. This range is full of a lot of potential to me. The kind of up to that 130 magic 130 to 1 number on DraftKings. So I got to narrow these down as well as some bombs in the long range that I like too, even longer than 130 to 1. I've been on at 80 to 1 on FanDuel.
Yeah, I had him too.
Just the ball striking numbers have been pretty solid. He finished 13th here back in 2019. He's obviously a bomber. Hits it quite far. Short game is really good around the greens, although the putting has been atrocious of late. But we've seen him have some runs where the putter's okay, and he was at least neutral through 2 rounds at the Travelers on his way to missing the cut. I think he missed it. Did he miss it on the number? Because I think I played Ben. Yeah, he did. He missed it on the number. Round 1, he was positive for putting. Round 2, he's negative, but yeah, neutral for the week. I don't know. I kind of like Ben on around 80 to 1. I thought that was a decent value for him. I really like going back to the well on Sam Stevens. I talked him up last week. This is a better track for him. He's 100 to 1. Had a couple of close calls there. Third at Corrales in a birdie fest. Second at Valero. Decent week at the Byron Nelson, top 40 there. I just see a guy who hits it a long way, has some decent iron weeks. Again, question with the flat stick. So I like him. I think Schenk and Lashley are 2 names at 100 to 1. Lashley's obviously a former champion here. Didn't play well last week, but we know he can get hot. The irons were still hot last week. All about the putter, I think, usually for Nasty Nate. Hits it long enough. Schenk's kind of the same way, but just like those are 2 guys right now. Today, I'm not saying they're more talented than Aberg, but today, if I'm looking at guys going into contention on Sunday, I would trust actually both, which is crazy. I would trust both of those guys more so than Aberg, and I'm getting him at 100 to 1. Maybe Schenk more than Lashley. Lashley kind of makes me question it a little bit, but like Schenk's got to be close. Like, and his form comes out of nowhere, so it can be a miscut and then bang, he's in a playoff. But
Didn't
those
he
two,
say he likes the tougher courses though? Like,
yeah,
Is Shink gonna
yeah, and
get
then he
into a
sucks at the
birdie?
U.S. Open.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's played here 4 times. I guess only decent finishes at top 30. I mean, he definitely gains more strokes on difficult courses. I just think if he's continuing to hit his irons well, which he has continued to do, he's a really strong putter, which is going to play well in a birdie fest. And off the tee, he's not short at all. I mean, he's above average in distance. I don't think he cares. I don't think he cares what tournament he wins. He just wants to go win a tournament.
Okay.
So, I mean, I get that he probably does prefer a tougher setup, but I just think he's a good recipe for success here at Detroit.
All right.
Uh, yeah, there's some others in here that I'm interested. I'll see what you got.
Well, you mentioned a couple of them, especially Ben on. I liked him a lot at 80-1 on FanDuel because he's shorter. Where in the other books I saw him on, I think Lee Hodges is interesting at 100-1.
Boy, he killed me last week.
Yeah, I know he missed the cut. It
Big
killed a
lugger
lot of
last
people.
year.
He killed a lot of people, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I think he's a guy that I think could definitely win here. What about now? I've lost his odds. Do you think Luke List? Are you are you ready to get on Luke List again?
Holy shit, dude! How about him gaining a stroke putting last week?
Yeah, I mean,
1.3 strokes. Let me see how.
130-1 on DK.
All right, round one, pretty good for Luke. He only lost zero point 0.3 strokes putting. Round two, 0.3 strokes putting. Round three, lost zero point 0.8 strokes putting. Round four, gained 2.67. So I don't like that. I actually like that less.
I mean, he's always going to check a lot of boxes when it comes to the ball striking and all that kind of stuff, but he's been playing pretty well. I mean, had a T16 at the Memorial, great field, T33 last week at the Travelers.
God, it's tough to
I mean, it
swallow.
could be early to the game on Luke List, but 130-1 just sort of popped a little bit for me in this field.
To win, it's so tough to see. Like, look at his one win at the Farmers.
Yeah.
Look at what he was doing coming into that versus what he's doing coming into this one. Like, just look at all the green from tee to green. There's even some question marks. His around the green play has suffered. His iron play's been okay. It's not been as consistent as it usually is.
Yeah.
And I think some of that maybe he's just working his ass off on the putting. And I know he is. I mean, I see him at Champions doing that. But
And he gained 3.7 overall putting at the Farmers, which has not happened since then.
yeah. So maybe it's a top. Maybe best case scenario, it's a top 10 bet. Like, I bet his top 10 number is pretty long. Let's see. Lukey. Where are you, Luke? Luke List. What's his top 10 numbers? Can you find it? Oh, it was 11-1 top 10.
I like that.
That's not bad. Yeah. Maybe he's, got a little confidence from Sunday. Sleeps with the putter next few nights.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another guy in here I like, and I think you've kind of fancied him at times. I don't remember if it was good times or bad times, but hits it plenty far. Really good putter. Harry Hall, 125-1.
Okay.
Almost, found himself in the conversation at the Colonial.
Yeah. Little different type of setup, but I mean, well,
Yeah.
I guess it is a little bit of a similar setup, but they were so baked out. It was just a different. This course is way softer than Colonial, but
10th at Mexico. That's a Bombers Paradise Birdie Fest. 13th at Corrales Birdie Fest. 7th at Puerto Rico Birdie Fest. The Byron Nelson I like to look at here because that's obviously like a 27 under situation. He sucked at the Byron Nelson, but he didn't putt. He didn't have his normal putting week. He was extraordinarily terrible with his irons. I don't know. I like that he was kind of in the hunt just a few weeks ago, and the putter is very interesting here. I don't think this is a hard place tee to green. I was going back reading some of our notes in the caddy info thread in the Nut Hut, and Caddy John who's caddied this golf course before said in years past, like, it's not really one of those that you take a lot of time to figure out. It just, you play a practice round or two and you kind of see what it is, and it's all right there in front of you. Just make it happen. It's not really tricky or tricked out. So I don't know.
yeah,
That's probably all I have in this range.
yeah, that's it for me. I only have a couple bombs too.
I like some bombs in here. I'll let you go so I don't take any from you.
All right, 2 bombs for me. I'll start with who we talked about earlier, the real young Carson Young.
Yeah.
I think you gotta continue with old Carson here. He's been playing great with the T15 last week. Had a T21 at Charles Schwab.
And 75 to 1 on points bet's the best I see right now.
Yeah, which is good. I wrote down 150 to 1, so if you can still get 175 to 1, I like that.
As of an hour ago, he was 175 to 1 on points bet.
Yeah. Um,
I totally agree. Love that pick.
yeah. Then I think you look at Andrew Novak, who I'm seeing at
Jeez.
210 to 1.
You're
You know,
naming all these guys that hurt my feelings last week. Hodges, Novak. Are you doing this on purpose? Are you just trolling me
I'm
now?
not doing it on purpose. But I mean, Novak has shown a lot of, I mean, dude, in Canada, top 10.
I know.
He was fantastic. Gained 10 strokes total, 6.5 tee to green. I mean, this guy's,
God dang it.
had a top 10 at Valero, top 10, top 15 at the Sony. I mean, he's had a lot of really good. This has been a really solid year for him. I could see a win this week for him. 210 to 1.
He shot 3 under on day 1. He shot 2 over on day 2. Let me look at this is why sometimes this is important. Okay, look, here we go. Great conversation right here. This is a good strategery conversation. Okay. Thank you, Pat, for bringing his name up.
Oh, you're
Because
welcome. You're
I
welcome.
gotta say, I had a good bit of Novak and Hubbard last week down in this range, in that range on DraftKings and whatever. I was so upset with freaking Novak, and so I had just glossed over his name all day today. But you're right; he's had some good finishes. Hits the ball long enough, not super long, but long enough. Irons are hot, putter is hot. That's what we want. And if you look at it, at what he did at the Travelers, you go, oof, lost 2 strokes on approach. Okay, that's kind of unsettling for Novak. Usually a positive iron player. Go look at the scorecard. On day 1, like I said, he shot 3 under. He gained strokes tee to green. Round 2, lost 1.7 on approach, 1.5 around the green. Do you know what happened? Well, I mean, he made pars on every hole in the front 9, which is not good in a birdie fest. I get it. Not good, but he's just making pars. Maybe nothing's falling in the hole. Maybe he's just, nothing's dropping, right? That happens.
Yeah.
He makes nothing but pars all the way to number 12. He gets to number 13, the par 5, which you would think, I got to eat right here. You know what I mean? Apparently he hit a not great drive because he lost on that drive alone. He lost 1.65 shots. And then he lost 1.86 shots around the green. So he lost over 3 shots on that hole alone. Then he made par, birdie, par. So he made 1 birdie, 1 triple, and then 16 pars on his way to a missed cut. Which, that's an anomaly, right? Like it's just a bad hole. Maybe it was one bad swing, maybe it was a whatever, and then he's in his head, and then he's pissed because he knows he's going home, right?
He's still young. That happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm back in on Novak. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'll do it. Anybody else?
Those were the 2, Young and Novak.
All right. Shout out to Chris, who me and Chris in the Nut Hut. Me and Chris sometimes don't see eye to eye, but Chris brought up Cam Champ's name today in the chat. Why not Cam Champ? 150 to 1. Like, who would you rather have, Cam Champ or Ludwig Aberg late on a Sunday?
I mean, Champ does seem that when he's in contention, he wins.
Yeah.
I have to say, if it's late on a Sunday,
yeah,
I could probably see me it's down to those 2. A guy's never won before, a college player, 2 months ago. Yeah, I can see it.
3-time tour winner in Cam Champ. And like Cam Champ has shown to do, just shows up out of nowhere on courses that suit him and does well. I mean, leading up to Mexico, which again, I've referenced Mexico a couple times, Bomber's Paradise. Leading up to Mexico, he had gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 missed cuts and a T53 in his previous 10 events. And then he finished 8th. Did the same thing at the Zozo, like 3 missed cuts, 8th at the Zozo. I mean, we know he's going to be able to rip driver here. The putter kind of comes and goes, but just to close it out at 150 to 1 if he's there, I think Cam Champ's in play. And then I like old Vincent Norman, 175 to 1 on points bet. Just give me another just raw bomber. Irons have been decent
Yeah,
lately.
I gotta let you take him because I feel like
You've
he
He's hurt you a
I've
little
worn
bit.
it out.
You've
Every time I take him,
Let
it's
me have
never
him.
good.
Let me
You can have him.
let me
You
give
can
him a
have
try.
all
Let
right.
me give him a try. I'll take your sloppy seconds on Vincent Norman.
Okay.
Eighth at the Byron Nelson Birdie Fest, 18th in Mexico, 16th in Corrales, 21st in Puerto Rico. Those are all Birdie Fest where you can open up off the tee and hit tons of drivers. So I think Norman's interesting. And then Akshay was 150 to 1 on points bet. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to get bet down because people love Akshay. The putter's a problem, but I think I saw something on social last week actually because we haven't seen Akshay since the Canadian, but I think I saw him posting something that he was working on the putting, and the putting is bad, so we need that. But at 150 to 1, runner up in Puerto Rico, almost won, fourth in Mexico. Like we know when he can open up driver, hit his irons, he's going to hit his irons well. You just got to see what happens with the putter. So I think Akshay's in play there too. I like this. I like those bombs in this range.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay.
All right. Top 20 6-pack and locks. Then we are out of here. Locks. Let's start there. I think for the value, it's a little scary, but I think Keegan at plus 150 for top 20. If he shows up with any sort of like care or doesn't like have a major letdown from this. I mean, but he has played this tournament 3 years in a row. So I mean, he clearly thinks it's a good spot for him. But I just think a Keegan top 20 in this field, obviously coming off the win at plus 150 is a good value.
Okay.
So I go there, and then but there's a lot of good names here that are kind of longer. Honestly, is Doug Gim a thing again? Have you seen this? Have you heard reports out of the Gim camp of
I
late?
I don't know. I thought you were about to say there was something on TikTok about him. I don't know.
I mean, dude, his last 4 events: 15th last week, 12th in Canada, 19th at the Byron, 27th at the Wells Fargo. So he's got 3 top 20s in his last 3 events, 4 top 30s. Like, has Doug Gim kind of found it? He's plus 320, and I'm in lock territory, which Doug Gim is not a lock territory, but I just saw his name written down. I guess for that reason, I'll go Eckroat plus 230, but I think Gim should be paid attention to.
Yeah, I like Eckroat too. All right. Well, I've got a couple here, and I'll start with Sung Jae at plus 120.
Yep.
Yep. The thing is, too, if you just look at his history here, he has played here 3 years. He skipped last year, but top 10, a T8 in 2021, and then T53 in 2020, but then 2019 T21. So anyway, I do I like Sung Jae at plus 120. I also like Harris English at plus 180. I thought about Brian Harman at plus 180, the 2 Bulldogs, but I went over to Harris English, and I'm going to go. Harman just scares me, even though he was pretty good to me last week. He didn't win, but he was second. I had him as an outright. But I like Harris English there at plus 180.
Yeah, I mean, Harris isn't long by any means. He's probably longer than Brian Harman, which might help him here a little more than last week. All right, so English, Keegs, Eckroat are your top 20 locks. Pat, give me one bomb at 4 to 1 or longer, top 20.
Well, DB, I haven't mentioned this guy's name, I don't think, all year long. I think Charlie Hoffman at plus 550.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. Now, he was top 10 here last year, just so you know.
Yeah, he's another year older.
Yeah. And I think I'm feeling a good week out of Hoffman. I really am. I think we could get a good week out of him. Like, you look at the approach skills, top 20 in the field, 31st in ball striking. He's 15th in opportunities gained, so he's given himself a lot of birdie looks. He's 41st in this field in driving distance. He's not short. He's not short. So I think Hoffman is for a top 20 at plus 550. I like it.
Whew. Wow. I don't like that. I would rather go Carson Young at 5-1. But I'm going to give you a guy that I also haven't talked about. And you know what, Pat? This is going to be a battle of the olds. You call me an ageist?
You are an ageist. I mean,
I'm not an ageist.
it's a documented thing.
I'm not an ageist. This is a battle of the olds between two old wily vets in the top 20 bomb category. Pat has chosen Charlie Hoffman at plus 550. I see your Charlie Hoffman, and I raise you plus 750 J-Dub Jimmy Walker.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Listen,
I need some reasons here.
It is Detroit Golf Club, baby. It is bombs, putts. Hit bombs, make putts. Hit bombs, make putts. 1 + 1 is 2. That's Jimmy Walker. That's what J-Dub does. Now you go, DB. He missed the cut his last 2 events. He missed the cut of the Travelers. Okay. One of his worst fairways gained things to do. I mean, like, terrible fairways gained, like -6 fairways gained, -3 good drives gained. He sprayed it all over the place because that's what he does now. Okay. He's gotten older, but he's picked up a ton of speed. He always had some speed. Driving distance gained, it was so suppressed. It was the same thing. It was why I love Chez Reavie last week, because the Chez is going to get leveled up and all the bombers are going to kind of come down to his level. And that's what happened to Jimmy Walker. Don't worry about it. 40th at the Charles Schwab, that's Colonial. Same thing, same situation. Don't worry about it. PGA Championship, stacked field, hard-ass golf course. Don't worry about it. Okay? 14th at the Wells Fargo. Let me ask you a question. Do you hit a bunch of drivers and bomb it at Quail Hollow? Yes. 15th in Mexico. Do you hit a bunch of drivers in Mexico? Yes, you do. 13th at Torrey Pines earlier this year. Do you hit a bunch of bomb drives on Torrey Pines? Yes, you do. And you get an amazing putter. Very good putter. Over his whole career, he's been a good putter. Look at him. Jimmy Walker, plus 750. He's going to top 20 this place. Put it in the books. He's played here 3 times, T21 in 2019. He gained almost 8 strokes putting that year. Sick. That's what we're relying on this year. Jimmy Walker over Charlie Hoffman. He's rested. You know, he does need his rest with Lyme disease. You do need your rest. So he's rested. He just had the 2 rounds at the Travelers, kicked his feet up. Done.
Did not expect Jimmy Walker, J-Dub.
Well, you made me pivot. I pivoted when you said Charlie Hoffman. I was gonna go somewhere else, but we'll just go battle of the olds.
Okay.
Battle of the olds in the top 20 range. Awesome. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This has been the betting show for the Rocket Mortgage Classic. We'll be back next week for whatever's next week. What's next week? Is it the JDC next week? Is JDC next week? I don't know what's next week.
Yeah, I don't know, because I think there's one in between that, and then we get, Anyway.
Awesome. Have a great week. Bend over your bookie.